So today I want to talk about something that has probably had one of the biggest impacts on my life, and that is fitness. I think I was in about 10th grade when I started. I'm 23 right now, so I've been going for quite some time now. The thing with me, like when I first started going, like I was a really skinny kid. Like I was always a really small kid when I was growing up. I think that like when I was 16, I know that I was about 5'6" or 5'7", and probably like 110 pounds. So I was always a really skinny kid. It was pretty much life changing. Like once I really started getting into it and like started to see some results, and I realized really quick that this is definitely going to help me out. This is definitely worth it. So it's also something that has always been there for me. Like it was always there to help. Like if I had a terrible day, I'd go work out. If I was just like feeling depressed or just like sad about something, I'd go work out. Like it's always there. It was always an option, and it has always helped. So it's one of the best things I've ever done, and I really encourage anyone and everyone to just start. The one thing that I always tell people when they start is just go for a month. Just go consistent for 1 month, and I'm telling you that by the end of the month you are absolutely going to look and feel better. And plus, by the end of the month, you're gonna be so addicted to just going, because you're gonna know the feeling of progress. There's gonna be visual progress, so you're gonna know what it feels like. It's gonna become an addiction. That's what it was for me anyway. Like once I started really seeing changes in my body, like that's when I realized, like, okay, now I definitely don't want to stop. Like I'm definitely gonna keep doing this, but you know it does take a lot of hard work. I get really upset whenever I see these commercials and they say like, oh, it's 6-minute abs, or, you know, they try to make it sound easy. I hate to break it to you, it is not easy. It takes a lot of time and work, but it can absolutely be done, and anyone can do it. That's one thing that I don't like that. I don't like when people try to make it seem like it's easy, and that, oh, the one thing that I always hear a lot is no need to spend countless hours in the gym. And I think that everyone who is serious about it understands that that is the only thing that will ever get you there, is countless hours in the gym and countless reps and sets. Like, it's the only thing that works. That's why I just get so frustrated when these commercials like claim that it's unnecessary, because it is absolutely necessary. I don't want to make it seem intimidating or anything, because like that's for my type of training. Like I usually go about like 5 to 6 days a week, so that's for me anyway. But like if you're just trying to stay in shape and stay healthy, like you don't need to be going so often, you don't need to go as hard, but you definitely need to stay consistent with it. I always like whenever someone comes up to me and, you know, they say that they want to get into it, because I know that what it's done for me was life-changing. So I completely encourage anyone and everyone to start doing it, because I want them to know the feeling. When you look back at 6 months of hard work and you realize, like, you know, like what you've done in that amount of time, it makes you stop and think like, well, what if I started earlier, you know? And then you start working even harder at it. It is hands down one of the best things that I've ever done. If you've been putting it off, here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to put it off any longer. I want you to start as soon as you can. Like if that means today or tomorrow, just start, okay? The one thing that I've always done is I've always looked on YouTube. You gotta do some research, and you're gonna have to like look a lot of things up. If you don't know how to do anything, just go on YouTube, go on Google. You could search literally anything. I've always went to YouTube and just looked up how to do basically everything. And then I just kind of listened to my body, and after a while, like, you know, you kind of get a feel for what you like and what you don't like. Like for instance, a lot of people like dumbbell rows for their back. Personally, I don't like them at all. I think that it's just, for me, it's not a good exercise at all, just because I've just never felt it in the right spot. It feels weird and just unnatural, but a barbell row for me is incredible. I'm not sure why, it just feels like a more natural position. So yeah, that's just one thing with me. So whenever someone tells you that this workout is better than the other, just, if it works for you, it works for you. The one thing that I will say is that make sure that your form is good. Don't worry about the weight, because I'm telling you right now, if you're worrying too much about the weight and your form is off, you're gonna cause some serious damage. And you might not feel it right now, but you're gonna feel it later on. So that's one thing. Just do it right, okay? Just worry about the form. Start out light. Don't worry about any weight. I'm pretty sure at one point, you know, most people were the smallest guy in the gym. I know I absolutely was. Sometimes I'm still the smallest person in the gym, but even still, it's like it doesn't really matter. No one cares. As long as you're there and you're working, that's what matters. So yeah, just like, you know, don't worry about any of that. Just do it right and listen to your body and listen to what works for you. For me personally, like, I never liked when people came up to me in the gym and tried to give me their advice. I never wanted to do that to other people because I don't like when other people do it to me. That was one thing that's always bothered me a little bit, is when people try to give me their advice in the gym when I'm just trying to get a workout in. Especially because, like, everyone's different. Everyone's going to respond to different workouts differently. So, you know, what I may like could be completely different for you. It just all depends on who you are. Oh, and one thing, I feel like a lot of people get really intimidated by dieting. So whenever I say that I'm on a diet, I feel like a lot of people get really weirded out by that, and you know, they kind of say, why are you on a diet? Why are you trying to lose weight? You're so skinny right now. It's like, well, no, I'm not trying to lose weight. I'm just trying to eat healthier. Like, that's the whole purpose of a diet. I feel like there's a disconnect when it comes to that word. I feel like whenever you say the word diet, like, everyone immediately thinks you're trying to lose weight, and that's not exactly the case. It's like, you know, you could just be trying to eat healthier, and keeping a clean diet is like, that's, believe it or not, like, that's like 80% of the work. Like, it's very important to get a good workout in, but it's also just as important to be eating healthy, you know? And that doesn't mean that, like, you don't exactly have to have like such a strict clean diet. You just have to not eat as much junk food. I try not to eat fast food, like, ever. I can't remember the last time I had like McDonald's or Burger King or any of that. I can't remember the last time I did, and I try not to eat a lot of sugar, because sugar is really bad for you. Like, it's pretty ridiculous how bad that stuff is for you. So yeah, it's just like, I feel like so many people overthink it, and it becomes intimidating, and like, that's the thing that sucks, is because it's not that complicated. It's just, you know, you just gotta, it takes some time and it takes a little bit of work, but it's so worth it. The whole like diet and exercise thing, it doesn't have to be so complicated. You just have to eat a little bit healthier, and you just have to stay consistent with training. That's the only way that you're going to see results, and you will absolutely see results, especially if you're doing everything right, you know? And if you notice that, like, I'm not putting on muscle as fast as I should, well, okay, so take a step back, think about what you're doing, like, ask yourself, are you training hard enough? Are you training as often as you should be? Or if you're trying to lose weight, you know, take a step back, think about how many calories are you eating? Are you doing enough cardio? Like, just think of everything like that. Like, I feel like so many people try to get the fast way, and it's like, you know, or they try to take some supplement that's gonna get them like the easy way, and there's no quick way to do it. And I get that is frustrating, but just know that over time it will happen. You just gotta pay attention to it, and you gotta keep working towards it. So, but it's not that it can't be accomplished, because it absolutely can be. That's definitely one of the things that I want to really stress, is that, you know, I get that it can be intimidating, because it seems like a whole lot, and, you know, the whole diet and like exercising all the time, like, it seems like a lot, but just remember, we all started somewhere, okay? Like, we get it, you know, it's just, everyone starts somewhere, so it's okay to just be starting out. Like, as long as you make sure that you're doing everything right, you'll be okay. Too many people get intimidated by it, and then they just give up, and it's like so sad, because you don't realize like how much potential you actually have. That's one thing that I started realizing recently about myself, is like, I realized like how much I was leaving on the table, and I don't want to be living my life like that anymore. Like, I want to like really be pushing myself anymore. So that's one thing that I've really been trying to do anymore, is just really push myself. And even when I'm just exhausted and just ready to give up, like, I always like want to push myself and just get in like one more set. Especially like, I feel like I do it mainly if I'm running or if I'm doing squats, because squats, that is a miserable exercise. So whenever I'm doing them and I'm just like, you know, I tell myself, oh yeah, I'm only gonna do like 3 to 4 sets, and I get to that 4th set and I'm just burnt out and exhausted, well, then I'm like, all right, well, let's do 1 or 2 more just to really make sure. And then like, once I do that, and once I finish those last ones and I'm just completely done, like, it's just such a sense of accomplishment and knowing that I really pushed myself, because I want to be really utilizing my time and energy in the gym. That's one thing that I really started to pay attention to anymore, is just like realizing like, am I giving enough effort right now? Because I think that that's something that's pretty important. I think everyone should always keep that in mind. I feel like our mind tricks us a lot, and it tells us to give up before we actually should. Especially, I feel this a lot in running. Like, I'll tell myself, like, okay, yeah, I'm only gonna go, like, if you guys, like, follow my channel, you'll know that I don't really run too much, like, usually about a mile or two or whatever. I'll start getting tired, but then I'll tell myself, well, you know, I'll stop at 2.5 miles. But then I'll start thinking, like, a minute later, well, it's 2.5, might as well go for 3. And then I'll get, like, that little bit of a burst of energy, and I'll say, well, all right, now I'll go for 4. When you push yourself, you'd be surprised what you can do. Trust me. Because it happens to me all the time. I really want to stress that everyone has started somewhere. It's okay if you're just starting out. Just make sure you're doing everything right and just stay consistent with it. It has such a negative impact on my mood if I'm not like in the gym. Like if I skip 3 days in a row, I can immediately tell, because I literally start feeling just like a little bit more sad, and like my energy levels are low and I just don't feel as well as I should. The mental effect that it has on me personally, and I know that so many other people feel like this, the physical benefits are amazing, but the mental benefits are even better, because that's one thing that's pretty big anymore is mental health. And for me personally, like going to the gym has like always helped. Like it's always been there when I needed it most. Like when I was feeling the worst, I'd go to the gym and I'd get a really good workout in and I would feel better. Like I'd get in my car afterwards and I just sit down and just kind of like just sit for a second and like think and just realize like I did it. I got a really good workout in, and just you feel better immediately. If you're feeling sad and like just down, I'm telling you, like definitely try working out and going to the gym, because it's helped so many people. It's helped me, and it could most likely help you. Yeah, so that's just something that I really want to talk about, because I feel like it can help a lot of people out, and I want other people to understand like the benefits physically and mentally of just working out and going to the gym. It's had such a positive impact on me, and I just want other people to know what that's like and to feel better about themselves and be more confident in who they are. I know what it's done for me, and I know that it can do the same for other people. So yeah, if you've been thinking about going to the gym, but you're a little hesitant about it, you've been putting it off, don't put it off any longer. Just go as soon as you can. That's all you have to do, is just start. Just stay consistent with it, and you'll be okay. You'll thank yourself later when you look back in a year after training and you realize how much progress you've made. Because the one thing that's always motivated me so much is visual progress. Whenever I look back and I see how far I've come, like it's always just such a huge motivator for me to just keep going. If you've been thinking about it, definitely start, because it's changed my life and it'll absolutely change yours for the better.